growing up, I had great skin. And all of a sudden, my early 20s, I had this like all these pimples on my chin and what was going on. And then as I cleared out the food sensitivity, back to the nice skin again. And then you can have mood issues, people with, depression, bipolar, anxiety, irritability, those sort of things. So mood issues, those are linked to food sensitivity as well. Hey everybody, welcome back to Fab Fertile TV. Today we're digging into the elimination diet. So excited to talk about this. Is one of our favorite topics, something that for fertility that really people never even think of doing. And really it's one of the first things that we do in our couples coaching program with our couples. So definitely check out Get Pregnant Naturally episode number 25. Check out the elimination diet on Get Pregnant Naturally. And really for an elimination diet, so it starts out by we're taking out dairy, gluten, soy, corn, peanuts, and eggs. So you're taking those out for 10 days, and then you're systematically reintroducing them using this food journal that we talked about in the episode prior to this, and really seeing how you feel. And an important thing on this is for the elimination diet, look, there's no perfect time on when to do this. We're all busy, but try to pick a time that you don't have weddings or parties or something going on, and you want to be able to cook the majority of this food at home, because as you take the food out, you may have a negative detox reaction and not feel so hot. So maybe let's talk about that first, Brandy, as some of the symptoms you could feel when you take these foods out of your body.
Yeah, for sure. So it's actually pretty common to have some sort of detox reaction. So you may feel angry, irritable. Your moods can go up and down. You may even feel like shaky or hangry, like your blood sugar is a little bit out of whack. That's not uncommon. Your energy levels may be off. So you may feel tired for a couple of days. You may start getting things with your skin. So maybe some acne or some skin rashes or eczema, and that's the toxins trying to get out of your body. Your skin is one of the major detox organs. So if you've got something going on in your skin, that's kind of an indication that something inside is not going the way it should. You may have digestive upset, joint pain. You may even feel a little fluish. I mean, it's not often, but you may feel achy and like headachy, sore throat, those sorts of things. So it's not uncommon to have these sorts of detox reactions, and know that it's normal. But as long as you're continuing on eating those good, clean, healthy foods, drinking plenty of water, resting when you can. So that's why Sarah said it's important to be able to do this at a time when you're not going to be having to, go to town or go to business meetings or weddings or something like that, so that you can have the opportunity to go for a walk if you need to, have a nap if you need to, kind of lessen the stress level on yourself. And it is important that you're cooking most of the foods, because a lot of these foods are hidden in packaged foods. And so you're really going to have to be like reading labels and that sort of thing. So the easier you can make it on yourself, the better.
Yeah, so with the fertility preparation program, which is the elimination diet, guides you through all of this. There's chef prepared recipes, a meal plan, a grocery shopping list, and it really tells you exactly how to do it. Or you can listen to episode number 25, and Brandy and I walk you through the entire process. So, but it really is to make a commitment, set your intention as to why you want to do that, as to why you're doing this, which is to get healthy and really focus on your preconception health. Know in the first 3 to 4 days that you could have these negative symptoms. So to really, really focus on self-care and be kind to yourself. And then as the week progresses, so kind of day 6 and 7, you should actually start feeling better, more energy, mood lifting as some of these things come out. Some people report feeling like the best they've ever felt. And then the key, day number 10, is when you start to reintroduce it. So we don't reintroduce at the end of the 10 days and end with a pizza, which it could be, at the end of it, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm craving a bunch of stuff. Which typically some of your cravings could go away. The reintroduction is why we're doing the elimination diet, is to then, document to see how food impacts your body, and really be very, very honest with yourself, especially around your favorite foods, about how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's some foods like dairy is a big one for a lot of people. And the part of the reason for that is that there's chemicals in dairy that kind of hit those reward centers in the brain. So if you ever hear somebody say, I can never give up my cheese, like I just love my cheese, because it's hitting that dopamine response in your brain, it makes you feel good. So that's why, you know, these foods are hard to eat, but it's really being honest with yourself, and you will be surprised. You would never know what these foods are doing until you actually take them out, and you can be quite surprised how they affect you and when you bring them back in. So a major thing with dairy is the mucus buildup. So a lot of people just always kind of feel a little snotty, a little mucusy, kind of that drip in the back of their throat, and they take it out and they're like, you know what? Like, I haven't felt that in a couple of days. Like, that's super weird. Another common thing with dairy, and I mean, corn and other things as well, and eggs, but like achy joints. You might start finding that you get out of the bed in the morning and your feet don't hurt, or your knees don't hurt, or you don't have that like really stiff, creaky body when you're getting up. I mean, that could be the dairy. So all these little nagging things that you kind of thought were normal start to go away. And then when you bring the foods back in, they come back again. And it tends to come back even stronger than it did before. So that's really not uncommon. And we've definitely seen that happen, where you to bring it back in and you have a pretty strong reaction, and it's your body telling you like, nope, this is not good for you. And you'll notice yourself when you tune into your body, it's like, no, I don't want to experience that again. Like, that did not feel good. Now I know what it does. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, because you could have symptoms around skin. So if there's a food sensitivity, it could be around your skin. So acne, psoriasis, dermatitis, like rashes. Like for me, growing up, I had great skin. And all of a sudden, my early 20s, I had this like all these pimples on my chin, and what was going on. And then as I cleared out the food sensitivity, back to the nice skin again. And then you can have mood issues. People with depression, bipolar, anxiety, irritability, those sort of things. So mood issues, those are linked to food sensitivity as well. And then also the joint issues. Sometimes we think as we get older, we're supposed to get out of bed and crawl to the bathroom and feel like our joints are aching. Well, no, and I can see if I've been glutened or if I've had some food, I mean, like my elbow will start hurting. I'm like, or my knee. Like I had an old knee injury. My knee hurts, and I don't have tennis elbow. I don't know what, but I'll get sort of my certain parts of my body start to hurt. So joints, and then digestion. So a huge one. People normally think of a food sensitivity elimination, they just think of digestive issues, whereas there's all these other things that we talked about. So, but yeah, IBS, gas, burping, bloating, all these, sometimes I had for years like this bloated stomach, and as we got rid of the food sensitivity, then that went away. And then autoimmune. So if you've got, diabetes type 1, Hashimoto's, Graves', MS, lupus, those sorts of autoimmune conditions, those can be helped by looking at your diet for sure, and then potentially going on an AIP, which we'll probably talk about in another episode, but the autoimmune protocol. But really, it is the key to the elimination diet is that it's short term. It's really to be able to figure out how food impacts your body, and to take the time. It's really the whole thing is 30 days. It's 10 days without all those major allergens, but to step back, take that time for yourself, and really clue into how your body feels.
Yeah. And another thing that I don't know if we mentioned, but brain fog. That's a really common symptom. And there's so many of us today just walking around in this fog of like, my head is heavy. And when that fog clears, it's amazing. You don't even realize sometimes that you had brain fog. Even things like memory loss, like you're not necessarily like you would think with Alzheimer's and dementia, but like forgetting words or forgetting where you put things, that's associated with brain fog, and that could be a food sensitivity. So a lot of things, it's not just digestion. It's not just I eat something and I automatically have to go to the bathroom. That's a small percentage of the time. And those are definitely there, but it's all these other symptoms that we talked about that are very commonly linked to food sensitivities.
Yeah, again, everyone that comes to see us is dealing with infertility. So even if it's like low AMH, high FSH, low ovarian reserve, premature ovarian failure, fibroids, unexplained infertility, PCOS, endometriosis, that's what you're coming in with this diagnosis. And we don't focus on the diagnosis. We have this protocol where we look at starting with your diet, which typically your conventional doctor will have maybe made some dietary suggestions, but they won't have dug I would say, 99% of people we work with, they've done some diet changes, but they have not dug in and gone hardcore on this. And there's publications, linking like gluten to infertility, and to really, so should you go gluten-free? Yes, 100%. Like, and gluten light, don't even bother.
No. And if we have time, I'll do just a quick, I was listening to a conference and a webinar with Dr. Tom O'Brien. He's an expert in gluten and gluten sensitivity. And he shared a case study of a couple who'd been trying to conceive for 7 years. 7 years. And he suggested that both the wife and the husband go gluten-free. The wife went gluten-free, the husband did not. And the odd times she would have gluten every couple of months. And they still struggled for another year. They came back and they did get pregnant, but it ended in miscarriage. They finally decided to take it seriously and go completely gluten-free, both of them, and they successfully got pregnant within 3 months. So it's huge. It's a huge, huge deal. And so, yeah, I mean, you can make some minor changes, but you really have to dig in what is ideal for you.
Yeah, and I've experienced the same thing with people coming to me, reading my book, doing the recipes in my cookbook, and going gluten-free and getting pregnant after years of struggling. So typically people that come to us, it's not as easy as that, because even though going gluten-free is not easy, but there's other things that we need to look at. But that is a huge first step to look at. And the elimination diet really gets you to clue in to how gluten and other top allergens, impact your body.
Yes, for sure.
Until next time.